Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we will be taking a look at the newly buffed IS-4. This Tier 10 Soviet tech tree heavy has had a very interesting history. It went from being this super heavily armored tank with 2,800 hit points and incredibly strong frontal protection to a vehicle now that is very mobile, having high DPM, and not that much frontal protection. However, I'm not going to say the IS-4's armor is bad. While its hull is pretty mediocre, the turret is still absolutely incredible, and I'd be willing to say it is still one of the strongest turrets in Tier 10. In the latest update of the game, Wargaming buffed the power to weight of the IS-4 slightly, they gave it super speed boost as a consumable, and they gave it more damage per minute. That's kind of insane. The IS-4 is already a pretty mobile tank, reaching a top speed of 42 with a power to weight of 15.8, and it turns at almost 40 degrees a second. So, with the DPM buff, the IS-4 now has 2,700 base DPM. If you run Rammer, you can get up to just shy of 2,900. However, I don't really see a point to that, judging that you don't have much pen running Rammer, so I'd stick with the Cali, get that 360 mils of heat pen. The crazy thing is with Super Speed Boost, the IS-4 can now reverse at 24 kilometers per hour, and with it activated, you can accelerate up to 47 kilometers per hour faster than just about any other tank in the game. So, I was playing the IS-4 yesterday, and I've got some replays ready for you to see that I've saved. So we're going to take a look at our Winter Melee game and our Canal game. And I think both of these battles are really going to illustrate what the IS-4 is capable of doing now. Personally, the way I see this tank is a much better Object 260, because this vehicle has very similar stats to the Object 260. It's only got about 100 less DPM, and even though it is slower, not going 50 but 42, with the Super Speed Boost you are able to accelerate faster than the Object 260, and you're still able to get to where you're needing to go pretty quickly. And the thing is, the IS-4 has more pen, it has a very solid gun in terms of accuracy, and the most important part is that this vehicle has a turret which won't get penetrated where the Object 260 does. Because of that, a lot of the times I've been driving this tank now, I'm like, wow, it just kind of feels like a better 260. The only real downside is that the IS-4's on-movement dispersion is not very good, and because of that, when you're driving this tank with its new mobility, it does feel kind of awkward. But do you see how fast I was able to make my way over here? It's kind of insane. And because of that, we're able to just get a surprise shot right into the Hori, put on our adrenaline, and we're doing pretty good. We're up to 440 damage, the Hori shot. That was just an unfortunate shell. I could have aimed that a little bit better. Didn't think the Yo was going to angle there. But, oh well, we got the K91, and this is where having that very nice heat pen is obviously super, super good. Able to butter directly through that K91. Now, we actually got penned, and I don't even think it's through the track. I think it's through the corner cutout from his vehicle, but as you can see, we were able to get an additional shell into that K91. We are already up to 1,200 damage. The M6 Yo is aiming at my teammate, so we got a nice 430 damage shell into his vehicle. Just like that, we're now up to 1,600. You can see how that DPM increase on this tank feels fantastic. And with the good accuracy of the IS-4, we're able to just keep on doming that K91. Dude doesn't really know what to do. So, Flossie gets a bonk into the K91. I get a bonk as well. That is a solid 2,400 damage dealt now, and Flossie's going to finish off the K91. What I told Flossie at this point is I will take the shot from the Hori if he takes the shot from the M6 Yo, so I take 535 damage. The M6 Yo bounces Flossie once. Is he going to pen him with the second shell? Nope. Dude is going to bounce him again. We're going to get to the side of the Hori. We're up to 3,000 damage at this point, and we're going to start aiming at the Yo. We're going to put on our adrenaline so we can get a nice juicer. I was tempted to fire an HE shell, but doesn't really matter. We max roll the guy anyway for 525 damage. I think this already is a great example of the capabilities the IS-4 has. We now get a free bonk right into the VK-72's lower plate, and I mean, at this point, it's just farming simulator. This is where having that good DPM paired with solid heat penetration is going to allow you to just butter through enemy armor with no troubles whatsoever. There are still going to be people out there which are not happy with the IS-4 changes, but to be honest, I think that the IS-4 is in the strongest state it's ever been currently, with the high level of DPM mobility and solid turret armor. And while its hull armor and side scraping aren't as good as they used to be, they're still alright haul down. I think the IS-4 feels pretty fantastic. That was 4,400 damage dealt. We got a first class, and we easily finished top on the team. Let's take a look at our second game, this one being on Canal. Once again, the IS-4 was able to do a very solid job given its capabilities, and you're going to see that in this battle. So I'm obviously going to make my way towards medium side, and you can see that really good traverse speed on the IS-4 just in that brief little moment there. So our minnow takes a bit of a weird route, thought he was going to go one way, then he kind of went the other way. But that's alright. We are using our mobility, and we are going upwards of 45 kilometers per hour, 46. It just feels so weird to be driving an IS-4 this fast. Mobility, as I've said in the past, is key. In any meta, having mobility, high levels of DPM, and decent armor is what you're going to want. I mean, look at the E50M, T62A. Those vehicles absolutely dominate when it comes to capabilities due to the mobility and the high level of DPM they have compared to other mediums. And the IS-4 kind of has that capability now. So I'm going to side scrape against the 57 Heavy. He bounces me, but of course the 57 Heavy has some of the stupidest armor in the game, so unfortunately our shell goes just a little bit high and does not end up penetrating his tank. Alright, well, that's just classic T-57 Heavy for you. I had two options here. It's either farm off of my dying teammate or shoot the heavies in mid. At this point, shooting the heavies in mid is kind of free, and there's not really much I'm going to be able to do. I'm worried that there's going to be a tank destroyer like the 183 in the back if I make a maneuver to help those guys. So at this point, I'm just going to get a bonk into the motion, and yep, there you go. Classic 183 camping all the way in the back. But I am going to try and get at least one shell into his vehicle. Nice. 430 damage. Okay, not too bad. And our Object 84 is able to get out. Good play from that player there. So we're up to 1,600 damage. We have dealt, or at least spotted the 183. We're doing all right here. We're naming on the side of the Chieftain. There you go. Nice bonkaroonie for 426. You can see I was able to angle the tracks just a little bit and get a bounce. Just going to back up a teeny bit so that 183 does not have the shell on us. And there you go. All right, nice. Chieftain's going to poke again. Easy shot. Okay, welcome to Soviet vehicles, I guess. That was an incredibly cringe shell, which definitely should have hit, but I guess I just got quite unlucky, and it didn't. Alright, well, let's reload again. Let's see, Chieftain overpokes his hull again. We get a nice 450 shot out, and well, at this point, it's pretty easy pickings. I mean, we do have a minnow, though. The minnow's quite dangerous, but with the good level of heat pen we have, we get a nice shell into his vehicle. Alright, well, the problem is the minnow with two just average rolls will be able to kill us. We're going to try and hatch him, but Soviet guns. But what we do know is the minnow fired a second shell, so that means he only has the reserve shell left. So I've got a good at least 20 seconds of shooting other people, for example, clearing the Object 752 and helping Flossie, before I need to worry about that minnow actually having any shells. The FV-4202's up top. Dude's only got 12 health, and I'm not really too worried about this minnow. At this point, he's most likely reloaded his clip, so we're going to back up. There you go, minnow bounces me in the turret. That's where the super speed boost comes in handy when it comes to this tank. We're going to keep on reversing. Look at that ridiculous acceleration and reverse speed we have with super speed boost. It's kind of insane, 24 kilometers per hour in reverse. So now the minnow's going to try and pen me. I don't really care, though. We get a nice shell into his vehicle. He fires a heat shell for the one shot. Fires a heat shell for the second shot, and because of that, he can't kill me. So we load a heat shell ourselves, finish off the minnow, and just like that, deal 4,400 damage. I think that these games are a great example of the current IS-4's capabilities. Yes, the previous IS-4 would have probably done just as well in that situation. However, the mobility and the very fantastic DPM allowed us to get out good levels of DPM, allowed us to do pretty well. I actually did very solid in the IS-4 overall this week, averaging about 4,000 damage for the 10 games I played in it. So I think the tank's in a really good spot. In fact, I told Flossie, which he agreed with me yesterday, the IS-4 is in the strongest position it has been ever. It's just an absolutely incredible tank. It's got everything you'd want going for it. And yeah, I really can't complain. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.